Hey, hey, it's the Narrative Nerd with the third installment of the Rigor Mortis story. So, when we last left our protagonist, little Kaito, he had just seen that the boy who was showing him around his new school was going to die in 3 months. Unable to face that, considering Hayden has been the only person to ever really be friendly to him in Kaito's entire life, he runs. The people at the table that he's just left decide that he's a bit of a strange, weirdo. I mean, that's to be expected, right? Having joined the school halfway through the semester, something's going on, Hayden watches him go. And all he feels is pity. So, the school day progresses. Kaito manages to find his way around. Hayden does not bother him again. And no one else does either. At the end of the day, Kaito is sent a text by his family to say that they will be late picking him up because they have things to do. Kaito decides that he'll just sit at his desk and wait, basically get on with the work that he's missed while he's been so engaged in general social life. He's been watching Hayden all day, and the more he watches the boy, the more he realizes just how much of a tragedy it is that the boy's life is going to end. He decides there and then that he's not going to be friends with this boy. Hayden, however, has other ideas. Of course he does. He's Hayden. He has another band practice, or rather a rescheduled band practice with Caleb and his band. Caleb is waiting for him at the teacher's desk at the end of the day. Hayden runs up to him. Yeah, I'm coming. But then he turns back and he sees Kaito sitting by himself, and that pity that he felt when Kaito ran away is back. He says, bro, I'm sorry, we're going to have to reschedule today. I just remembered I've got something. Caleb's like, dude, really? We missed lunch. We need to do this. We've got a gig coming up. Hayden's like, chill, man. It'll be fine. Look, I'll see you at Jin's party later. Just, maybe we can even practice there. I'm sure Jin won't mind. So, Caleb reluctantly lets Hayden go, and Hayden makes his way back over to Kaito. Come with me, he says. Kaito is absolutely taken aback. No, I can't just go with you. I've got to stay here. Hayden's like, no, you're not staying here on your first day. That suck. Come with me. Kaito is surprised to find that he wants to go with this boy. He shouldn't. He really shouldn't. The boy is going to die. He cannot form an attachment. But he wants to. Hayden and Kaito walk out of the school gates together. Being halfway through the semester, the weather is changing. It's getting towards the middle of spring. The weather is becoming warm. And it's nice. It's really nice to walk out of the school, to see the plants, to see the people, to see an average life. Hayden watches Kaito as they go, and they do talk. What's your deal? Hayden asks. And Kaito's like, what do you mean? Hayden says, well, it's really unusual for someone to start halfway through the semester. And Kaito's like, well, family circumstances and stuff. Hayden decides to drop it. Kaito is clearly closing off on him. Instead, he decides to do what he always does in these kinds of situations and tells Kaito a bit about himself. He tells Kaito what he's into. He tries to share his passions. He stops and looks at the flowers. He basically just is himself, and Kaito is so relieved that this guy is doing this. It's a companionable atmosphere, and it's something he's never had before. When they get back to Hayden's house, it's interesting. Hayden's house is fairly well kept, but it is cluttered. It has got a lot of random stuff in it, books, memorabilia, bits of lives that are lived there. It's run down and shabby in places, but it's lived in and it's happy. The atmosphere is there. Kaito looks around and he is amazed. His own house is a clinical and depressing Magnolia nightmare. His family live there like they're renting it, but they own the place. It's just horrid. Hayden asks if Kaito would like anything to drink, and Kaito says no, he wouldn't. But Hayden's like, yeah, okay, I haven't seen you drink anything all day. I'm totally out here. I'm going to get you a drink. He disappears off to the kitchen, and Kaito discovers Hayden's piano. He sits at the piano stool, and he plays a bit because playing piano was something he was taught when he was young to help him cope with everything that he has to cope with. He plays like a professional, he really does. But as he plays, the sounds catch the attentions of the nearby phantoms, and they start gathering. Hayden, who is close to death, is on their radar, and as Kaito feels them gathering behind his piano stool, he can see out of the corner of his eye as their heads turn towards the kitchen where Hayden is making his drink. He stops playing. Hayden, who was standing just outside of the door of the living room, walks in and says, dude, you're amazing. We could really use you in the band. Kaito says, no, I don't want that. Hayden's like, all right, chill, it's okay. But you are good though. And Kaito's like, yeah, thank you. He's all stiff. Hayden doesn't really know what happened or why playing the piano so beautifully has made Kaito clam up again, but he decides to let it go again. He's very good at giving Kaito the space he needs, having dealt with people with issues before. They go up to Hayden's room. Hayden shows him around all the LMC memorabilia. He shows him his Switch. He shows Kaito his guitar and even plays him bits and pieces of songs that he's written. He shows Kaito his YouTube channel, which Kaito finds kind of fascinating because he's never seen anything like this before. All of it is overwhelmingly stimulating to the point where it's almost too much. He's got an overload of he can't even begin to process. And yeah, it's all so cool. He's into everything. He hangs off of Hayden's every word. And Hayden, he notices this. And he knows a deprived kid when he sees one. And Kaito's not only a deprived kid, he's different to anyone else that Hayden has come across before. He has no grudges. There's no anger. He's just deprived. Anyway, the two hang out until Hayden's mother comes home. Hayden's mother also brings Hayden's younger brothers. Hayden's younger brothers, well, his youngest brother, Jamie, accepts Kaito immediately. Hey, cool, new friend to play with. This is great fun. Jamie is about 8 years old. Noah, who is a bit older, I think he's 12 or 13, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but he is a little bit more standoffish. He's quite protective of his big brother, who brings home strays often, and he's a bit more judgmental too. The four of them are chucked out in the garden whilst Mrs. Stone starts making dinner. And they have a little play fight. This is something that I did with my ex. And I remember when I was a kid, being an only child, having that many siblings around was a bit daunting and kind of awesome. So they all play together. They play a game of keep the ball away. And eventually Hayden tackles Noah. Kaito sees it and he immediately goes, no, stop, don't hurt him. Everyone freezes. Of course Hayden wasn't going to hurt him. They're just tackling each other. It's not a big deal. Noah is like, God, what freak have you picked up? But Hayden is like, hey, it's chill. I'm not going to hurt him. We don't do that sort of thing around here. Kaito is mortified. Of course Hayden would never hurt his brother. But hey. They go in for dinner. Kaito, again, is overwhelmed. He is given so much food. It is a help yourself kind of atmosphere. Everything is piled up in the front. Kaito is usually given a healthy diet. It is very much a you eat to keep yourself healthy and alive so that you can keep processing souls. Here, it's you can have what you want. He eats and then is given more by Mrs. Stone. And then when he's full, he's offered dessert. It's that kind of thing. Afterwards, all 3 of the brothers and Kaito are squished into the family couch to watch some TV. New episodes of She-Ra are out and they sit down to watch it. Halfway through an episode, Kaito gets a phone call. He goes out into the hallway. Hayden cocks his head and listens as Kaito speaks to his mother. "Where are you?" she asks. Kaito has forgotten to tell her that he left the school grounds. Kaito tells her that he's with Hayden, and her tone changes. She sounds less angry, but she's still pretty snappish as she says that she will come and pick him up. Hayden goes with Kaito up his garden steps and waits on the street with Kaito for his parents. The car shows up. It is an expensive black Mercedes with tinted windows, no less. Kaito gets into the back of the car without so much as a word from his parents. Hayden, watching this, gauges everything about Kaito's home life. Kaito's family car speeds away, and Hayden is left watching with a vow in his mind that he will befriend Kaito properly. This is his new stray project. That is where I'm going to leave it today. Not much of a cliffhanger, I know, but there is definitely more coming. So if you liked this content and you are willing to sit through the rest of the story, yay, yes please, then please do hit the like button and then hit the subscribe button. I update every Wednesday. Thank you very much, and if I can just press the button.